Hello, everybody. I am Kelsey Cho. Do you believe that? I just got out of the hospital 2 weeks ago. Now my body is still rejecting my liver. Why is that? We have to go to the beginning of my story. In January 13, 1995, I was born in Alaska, United States. I moved back to Taiwan when I was 8. Now I go to school in HSNU. One thing about me that is different from most people is that I had a liver transplant when I was 11 months old. When I was in my mom's womb, the doctor discovered that I had severe intestinal blockage. It caused accumulation of fluid in abdomen, which in turn put pressure on my heart. So I was born prematurely. After I was born, they immediately did a surgery to remove that tissue and fluid. And soon after, they realized something was not right. Why does this child's jaundice decrease and it's actually getting worse? Why is that? After some tests, they discovered I was born with bile duct blockage. Then I was treated with a procedure called Kasai portoenteroscopy, which means they use an artificial means of opening the bile duct. However, the procedure failed. Now the doctor told my mother,
"The only way to save your daughter now is if she has a liver transplant."
However, neither of my parents could be my donor, so I was placed on the waiting list for organ donation. But how long did I have to wait for a liver transplant? In this long waiting journey, I don't know how many times I was so close to death, and no one knew how long I had to live. No one knew when I would just pass away. Can you imagine that if that's your child? Every day you see she's getting worse, but there is nothing you can do about it. Fortunately, one day we got a phone call saying,
"We found your daughter a match."
Thus I got a new birth. This is how I looked before the transplant. Yesterday, someone said that his color was honey brown, and I think my color was pumpkin yellow. This is how I look after the transplant. But this was not the end. A liver transplant did not mean recovery or that I would be healthy henceforth. These 17 years, my body is still rejecting this transplant to the liver because it's not my liver after all. So the symptoms include rejection, autoimmunity, and joint pain. The frequency of my visits to the hospital is just like going to the supermarket. Whenever I go to have my blood work done, the nurse will say, "Kelsey, here you are again." These three doctors are my second family. The main doctor, Dr. Ni, has been taking care of me for more than 10 years. In those years of growing up in the hospital, whenever I felt a little bit better, my mom and I would go to visit and care for other children and to encourage their parents. That's how I met this girl last April, Yih-Pai, who suffered from the same thing I did. She was only 3 months old then. Last November, she had a liver transplant. This is a week after the transplant. I discovered that just by me showing up brought hope to others. So I felt,
it's like a ray of light.
now I can bring hope to others. Shouldn't I work harder to advocate for this issue? Nowadays, there are countless people who need organ donations. However, there are so few organ donors. We should realize that each one of you who is sitting in the audience might one day need an organ transplant. We cannot guarantee that we are not the next one. Let's see the data. There are over 115,000 people in the world who need organ transplant. However, there are only 6,900 donors. There are close to 8,000 people in Taiwan needing organ transplants, but there are only 135 people. donating. Just consider the northern part of Taiwan. There are 3,600 people needing a transplant, but there are only 58 donors. So the data is pretty disheartening, isn't it? So this is how I felt every time I was hospitalized. Every time I have very mixed feelings. I always asked, do I have rejection, autoimmunity, or do I need another liver transplant? But later I discovered it was useless to worry about all that. Worry wouldn't help. Worry sometimes even makes things worse. So I learned to be optimistic and take it easy when I face the problems, both big and small. Through organ donation, I had a rebirth. So I really feel that life is precious. In recent years, I see a lot of young people committing suicide. The reasons vary, but they're all ridiculous. I'm the same way. Other than my physical discomfort, I also encounter a lot of other difficulties. For example, when I just moved back, I had to deal with culture shock and my parents got divorced, etc. I remember telling my mom,
wow, everybody has black hair here.
Because when I was in the United States, black hair was unusual.
Appreciate and cherish life.
Maybe we truly feel that life is black and white, but we cannot just give up whenever we encounter difficulties or feel helpless, because we should let our lives be colorful. There were two questions I often asked when I was little. One was why, and the other one was why me? But later I realized if I didn't have a better solution, I should make the best out of a bad situation. After all,
毕竟, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning how to dance in the rain.
Every time when I was sick and hospitalized, my mother always told me,
"You can do it."
So I would like to invite you to repeat after me.
You can do it. 再一次, you can do it.
So after these many years, I really feel like we should face these two issues more. This is my research. Every day, an average of 18 people die because of a lack of organ donations. But do you know that any one of us can bring hope to 8 people? My biggest hope is that more people can become organ donors, so that more people can be kept alive and families can benefit from it. I also want to advocate for those who are in the same situation like me.
We are here and we exist.
This is a picture of when I was 4 years old. I represented Alaska in the U.S. Congress to advocate for organ donation. I want to say that if you believe everything is possible, everybody, today you can change the world right here. I believe you all got this form for organ donation. If you sign the form, you can become like me, an organ donor. You can bring people, you can bring hope to 8 people, and you can bless 8 families. Just like Gandhi said,
"Be the change you want to see in the world." 你要成为你希望看到的改变。You can make a difference. Why? 我刚说什么？ You can do it, right? Why? So say it again. You can do it.
Say it to the people on your left and right.
跟你左边的人说 You can do it. Now, do you believe you can do it?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Good.
The future is now. Let us change it together. I am Kelsey Cho. Thank you.
谢谢。